Hello and welcome to Flory Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Hobby Boss's latest release. This is the 1/48 scale CH-47D Chinook. And again, real soft spot for the Chinook. It's one of those proper workhorses. It's been around forever now, and it's one of those unsung heroes. And it definitely, I think, sort of came of age over recent years doing the medevac role, especially in Afghanistan and places like that. So again, a bit of a soft spot for this particular one. As I say, I still think it's a little bit of an unsung hero compared to other helicopters that are out there. Anyway, what have we got down in here is a nice new Chinook in 1/48 scale. So again, some nice touches of this one. Obviously there's subtle differences between the Chinook family as they go up. One of the biggest ones, and I've spoken about in many of my builds before, is the sort of the fuel tanks running down the side, how they connect down the back here, things like that, and differences on the nose. All right, and then obviously the more modern ones now have got far more pointy nose and things like that on there. Anyway, some nice details on this particular kit as we run around on the box. As you can see, we've got a fully detailed engine, which is very nice. We've got obviously the bits in the back as well, the doors that are opening, got a little bit of photo etch detailed gear and cockpit and things like that, which is very nice to see. All right, kit number for this one is 81773. And again, some of your marking options, as you can see down in there, as long as you like green. All right, so in the box, which is a really sturdy box, which I can't get into. So you can't never say the boxes aren't good. All right, we've got the obligatory bump sheet of what's coming out soon. There we go, some details there on the Chinook, nice with the ramp as well. So we've got that. Really nicely done. All right, so we can see we've got the brake for the back end of it, so expect to see other versions coming through. All right, we've got that. We've got the fuselage halves there, pretty nice as well. We've got some bit of bend, clearly, bit of weight on the old rotors, which is nice as well. And then fantastically well packed. Can't even see what that is. I'll look at that in a moment. And again, we've got some big old sprues down in here with all the parts. Again, we've got the floor. And then last up, as always, we'll begin with the instructions. All right, so down in the old instructions, we've got the colour callouts, which we'll look at in a moment. So we'll have to do the old slidey across bit for this. As you can see, multiple sprues for your layout guide. So basically, as always, we're starting off in the actual cockpit area, as you might imagine. So down in here, we've got the fire extinguisher being fitted. We've got the pedals being put in there. Technically, it's not rudder pedals, it's anti-torque pedals. But on a Chinook, that doesn't work because obviously with the rotor system, there's no torque. So I don't know actually what you would call those, but we've got those. Anyway, cyclic down in there, and obviously we've got the power lever down in there as well. So we've got those ones. Then obviously we've got the instrument panel being fitted down onto this one as well. So it looks very nice indeed. Then we've got the instrument panel being fitted up here at the front. This is obviously the old analog cockpit down in here as opposed to the more modern sort of digital ones that they have. All right, fitted on there. We've got the seats being fitted down in there. And then obviously it all goes onto that big floor area. All right, then over here we've got the sort of soundproofing, the quilting if you like down in the back here and all the rest of it. We've got the fire extinguisher being fitted down on some of the control boxes and that, and then obviously down on the real thing at the back here, it's got the sort of, I think it's the heater system on one side, and then on this side as well, it's got all the sort of secondary navigation radio equipment I think they have. So that's down in there normally. And again, down on the back here, so we've got the bulkhead fitted, and then this is actually your hook for the main lift area, or the big hole in the floor. All right, so again, you can have it closed over or you could have it opened if you wanted to. All right, down in there like that. Fitting that big bulkhead into the actual rear compartment, and then basically going through all the equipment bays and things we were talking about before, which are then seated down in the racks at the back there. Then obviously we've got to put the actual rear to the forward fuselage sections together. There is some holes to open up, and obviously you've got your windows all being fitted in there just like that. All right, so we've got all of those sections being fitted in. And then Mum 16, I assume that is going to be the heater bit being fitted into there. Nope, somewhere else down the back of this one. More fire extinguishers being fitted down into this one as well, right the way through. And then obviously we've got the actual floor and roof sections being fitted down into that one as well as those ones go in. Nice touch with this kit, which I really do like, is obviously we've got an engine. So down in here we've got a full length engine, all the rest of it in there. So if you wanted to, you could leave it uncovered, super detail it, a bit of wiring, a bit of scratch building in there, and I'm sure the aftermarket people might be along to do another few little replacement upgrades for that particular one. Engines being fitted down on there like that. Then obviously we've got the side door. You can obviously do it open or closed, or perhaps just have the half of it closed, whichever way you want to do with that one. The big old fuel tanks down on the sides, so those being fitted down in there as well. And then obviously we've got all of those being fitted on both sides. We've got the wiring, well, will be wiring for the aerials all on the sides, and that details all being fitted down in there, and the other engine going on the side. Rear ramp being fitted, so again, depending on obviously if you want it opened or closed, we've got the rear ramp fitted up in there as well. And then obviously we've got the actual wheels and for the gear being fitted on, and the plethora of little aerials and various things that they have under the bottom. And we've got the landing lights. Again, you can probably do those open or closed or deployed for landing. All right, same on the other side, and then doors being fitted on for the actual equipment bays and stuff like that, as you might imagine being fitted. Usual bits and pieces, little nav lights at the back, more aerials, things like that. And then the rear ramp being fitted if you want to have the actual extra ramps fitted or not, depending on which version you're going to be doing. And then down on those areas as well with the other ramp. And then usual things. So we've got that big spine running across, which technically does have the bar running right the way through to the forward rotor from the actual rear, all being fitted in. No section going on. Hopefully that's a nice fit. Those one fit in there. And again, depending on which versions you're doing, domed or the flat lights down in there, just like that. Then over to the actual main rotor head as well, getting the rotor blades all fitted, put into it, and away you go. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. Looks pretty straightforward. Nothing that I think will give you problems. All right, we've got the instructions, and then obviously we've got a nice bit of photo etch down in here as well. So the photo etch isn't bad at all. And again, it would be nice if they did the sort of UK with the sound filter with the actual box filters. This tend to be obviously the US version just down in here. So we've got a little bit of photo etch just for that. And again, we've got some decals. So we have a quick smidge in here. And we've sort of got, I think these are just generic US Army. They're not specific to anything particular. So there we go. So we've got some US Army. It's got a bit of film on there. You can see the state of it. It doesn't look particularly nice, but there we go. That's those ones all down in there like that. Looking pretty good. As I say, nothing overall, but there is aftermarket options for doing it if you wanted to do it. Because obviously you've got the old Italeri stroke Revell boxings of the other versions of this as well. Colour callouts and things like that, as we're saying, pretty straightforward as you can see. So it's just going to be the olive green or helo green right the way over it with the rotors. And then again, small differences between if you can have the yellow tips onto it or the white. So again, pretty nice. Okay, so into the big old stuff. So let's start with the big screws down in here. And again, this one's strapped together, which I haven't seen before. But we'll just detach these somewhat off. There we go. So down in here, we've got the one. Okay. So what's really nice with this one, we've got raised details now on the floor. On other versions, it's always just been recessed. So we've got a nice mixture of raised and recessed details right the way around on this one. So again, catch it in the light, you can see that. So that's going to take washes and dry brushing and everything lovely. The quilting, to be honest, isn't too bad on all of this. The roof, there's a few bits and pieces going on that I think should be in the roof area, definitely along these areas down in here. But they haven't put those on there. All right, so again, just nice touches like this detail just down in here, looking very nice. We've got these ramps, again, depending if you want them up or down. And then down in here, we've got fire extinguishers. We've got some of the antennas and the various things as well. And also we've got windscreen wipers fitted. So that's quite nice with those down in there, just like that. Generally though, usual, what you would expect from Hobby Boss, good, clean, crisp. No problem with any of that at all. All right, so we've got these side sponsons, which have got the fuel tanks in. Sorry, I'm in a hash of cutting that. So again, these are a little bit specific to different versions. They've all got different sizes, and the new one's got the huge tanks on there. All right, and if you go back to, you know, a video a long time ago, you'll know I opened these up because one of these has got the refueling point. I've got to remember which side it is now. I think it's the port side. Starboard side's got the refueling point, and the other side's got the battery and the various bits in it as well. And we opened it up super detailed Chinook many years ago. Wish we'd had this one, because this has got beautiful recessed, very small. The only trouble is we have got a large mould seam running right down in here. And as far as I'm aware, the real thing doesn't have that. So I'm assuming that's a mould seam. But generally, very nice indeed. And obviously your gear is going to plug in under here as well. So yeah, not too bad at all. All right, so we've got some of the smaller bits. And we'll get onto the big chunky stuff in a minute. So down in here, this is sprue B. We've got some of the various parts for the rotor head and things like that, which is pretty straightforward. Some of the blades, aerials, and all of those. So again, there's your aerials and your bits and pieces, looking very nice. This is that cargo hatch underneath that goes to the main sling point. And obviously the Chinook has 3 under there. So again, various ones. So yeah, looking very nice. And again, all the parts nice, good, clean, crisp. No problem. All the ejector pins seem to be out of the way, which is quite nice. That's all okay. Okay, then we can see what's hidden under some of these parts. So we've got the rear ramp down in here, and obviously we've got this is covering. So we will just uncover that just a second. So this is sprue F. So again, we've got the rear ramp and the floor of it. Again, this is all recessed on there. There's no raised on this, but it's all recessed. We've got the wheels. We don't have any weight on wheels, unfortunately. And then obviously we've got the engine covers down in here. That's actually looking very nice indeed. Some of the smaller bits, some of the gear. Yeah, actually some really, really nice tech lumps and bumps and bolts and the various things on here. Some of the sling points, so we've got 2 of them down there. There is 3, I'm sure there's a third around here somewhere. All right, underslung. We've got those doors, which have got ejector pins on them, which is a little bit of a, you know, a bit of a weak point, to be honest. You would hopefully not get that, but they have. So a little bit of sounding work in there, a little bit of detail on the inside. That's fine. There's that antenna that goes right the way down the side of the fuselage. But yeah, generally, again, I don't think it's the sharpest kit, but when you look at the price and things like that, I think it's one of those ones where, you know, you pay your money, you take your choices with all these things. Okay, so if we go into this one, purely because I have no idea what it is. It's a surprise to both of us. Okay, so we got match pair, that's why. Okay, so if we keep that like that, we can work it out. So we've got 2 here because it's going to be the engines. I did wonder where they were going. All right, so down in here we have got your engines and your rotor heads and things like that right the way through. So we've got a pair of these. And again, I think the engine, when it is built up, will look okay. You've got various lumps and bumps are going to be going onto this, which have actually got some really nice details. And I think by the time you come in there with a little bit of wiring in there, I think it will look really, really nice right the way through. So yeah, very, very nice with those indeed. I'm just going to keep that somewhat safe onto one side. Okay, so main rotors. So again, as you can see, you can got that nice droop to the rotors, which is really nice powered down. Again, they look pretty good. Nothing over the top, but they are, I think, adequate. I think they'll actually do the job. And again, you can see down here, again, a little bit, you know, you'd want it to be better. It's not, but, you know, again, it's adequate, I think. I think that's the word I'm going to be using for this kit. Okay, so rear fuselage. Yeah, I'm just having a panic then. I'm just thinking, whilst I'm doing this, I haven't seen the clear parts, but I've just seen them, so that's all okay. Right, okay, so down in here we've got the main fuselage bits. This is the rear fuselage sections. And again, you've got a nice mixture with all the recess with the riveting. It is all recessed. There's a couple of raised bits, but these are the aerial points. Generally, nothing else is. But again, by the time you get a wash onto this, I think it will look very, very nice indeed. It's a shame we haven't got any options for opening some of this up to see some of the workings going up through the gearbox and things like that. But again, it is there. Again, another weak spot is down in here at the back, because to be honest, this is just a myriad of plumbing and various things down in here, wiring and hoses that go up to the actual engines and the gearboxes and all the rest of them. Nothing in that at all. So it's completely devoid of everything. You know, which is something, again, when we did our Chinook years ago now, we super detailed all that with wiring and various things to bring it up. So I was hoping this kit might have it. Unfortunately not. So there's none of that going on there at all. All right, so fair enough. Can't have everything. So main fuselage section and clear parts we'll look at last. Again, there's your forward section. And again, the way they've done it, there's not a great deal to sort of see here. I'm hoping, because they've done it this way, we might see other versions. You know, so we might see the later versions of the actual Chinook as well, with the bigger fuel cells on the side and stuff like that. But again, the quilting, the various things, not a great deal going on down in here at all. And again, on the top side. So again, there's your big door area. Yeah, it's there, it's all there, but yeah. Clear parts. So there's no point getting them out of the bag because they're just flat and don't. They're the windows that fall out a lot on Chinooks. And then down in here, we've got a instrument panel in the bag. As you can see, there's a clear part and a few lights and things down in there. We will get this one out and have a look-see. So this is your front clear part. And to be honest, one thing you can never actually deny about Hobby Boss and Trumpeter, the entire family, their clear parts are absolutely gorgeous. What I don't like about it though is obviously this is right butted up. So the clear parts on the roof here is literally, it's all touching. So yeah, from a masking point of view and stuff like that, it's a complete headache and a nightmare. All right the way through. And again, the same under here. So when you're gluing it in, it's very, very difficult. What I would like to see is a little bit of meat, perhaps to the next panel line all the way around it. So when you're fitting on clear parts, if there's a little bit of an issue and you've got a step, you can sand it without the risk of destroying the clear parts. And again, we've been seeing that more and more and more with different manufacturers. Unfortunately, we're not seeing it with this one at all. And there we have it. To be honest with you, I was quite excited when I heard about this one and it was coming down the line some time ago, and I thought it would be really nice to get a nice new Chinook, because let's face it, the old Italeri one is really showing its age now. And you know, obviously it's been reboxed by Revell. I've built it. I've built two of them, in fact, over the years. It's a full build up on free to watch on the old internet if you want to see it. And again, it's one of those ones where last time we went out and we detailed it because we had to. The kit was just a little bit boring on its own. All right. This time round though, I'm thinking, here we are over 10 years later, it'd be really nice to see a new modern one, perhaps with some of those bits which I had to scratch built into it. Unfortunately, we haven't got it. What we've got here is very much, I would describe it like an ICM kit. You've got a Chinook from the outside. Really nice looking. Unfortunately, details on the inside are either missing or are just a little bit net and things like that. So again, this is one of those clear examples which I've been saying more and more recently, is that aftermarket needs to come along and just give this kit a little bit of a lift. Maybe, as you said, some nice sort of 3D printed engines would be a nice touch. Some of that details inside as well. Some proper weight on wheels and stuff like that with the Chinook as well. You know, just little bits and pieces just to enhance it right the way through. Overall though, if you did want just a Chinook, you'll be absolutely fine. But if you wanted some workings inside it and stuff like that, you don't get it at all. In fact, I don't remember seeing any seats or anything else in there either. So yeah, from that point of view, I just think it's a little bit of a damp squid.